The story we're going to read today is called Estela's Swap. Now, this is a book that you would read to a child who might be a little older. If you have a very young child, you might read part of the book and then talk about some of the pictures with them. And when I read today, I'm going to do both. I'm going to read some of the text and then some of the story. During some of the story, I will just talk about the pictures. And this story is written by Alexis O'Neil and illustrated by Henrique O. Sanchez. And let's look at the cover. What does she have? Yeah, that's a very, very special box. I can tell by her face. Let's turn to the next page, and that gives us another clue. You see the gears in there? Maybe she could wind it up. It's a music box. There are many, many things that might be at the swap meet. Swap is when you exchange something for something else. You trade. You exchange an object for another object, or in this book, they exchange some objects for money. There they go. They're in the truck going to the swap meet. Papa's truck bounced through the swap meet parking lot early one Sunday in March. Suddenly a strong Santa Ana wind blew a curtain of sand and leaves against the window, and Estela hugged her box even closer. Her brother said, "We might have to anchor Estela so she won't blow away in the wind today." This was the first time that Papa had let Estela sell something at the swap meet. She wanted to earn $10. $10 would pay for folk dancing lessons this summer. When they got to the swap meet, Papa and Estela and her brother helped get all the things out of the truck. They helped set up the booth so people could come and buy things or bargain or swap. They were all ready. Then Papa said, "Let's go explore." So he showed Stella all around because it was her first time there. And we can see the flower lady here and some other booths back here. Papa is pointing this way. I think that's where the food is. That's where the food booths are. Popcorn, hot dogs, chili. Papa stopped at one booth and wanted to buy a hubcap. "How much?" he asked the man. $9, the man replied. "I'll give you 4, Papa said. "Sorry," the man answered. Papa turned away. Estela tugged at his shirt. "But Papa," she whispered, "we need a hubcap just like that." "Don't worry," Papa answered, as he pretended to leave. All of a sudden, the man said, "I'll give it to you for $7. And Papa said, "6." And the man agreed, and Papa got the hubcap. "So that's how it's done," said Estela. So she decided that she was going to charge $12 for her special music box because she wanted 10. But she tried to sell it and it didn't work. Maybe the flower seller would be in the mood to buy something, Estela thought. She picked up her music box and walked to the woman's stall. To pass the time, the flower seller was sewing the hem of a beautiful skirt, and Estela thought, "That's the perfect skirt for me to wear during my folk dancing lessons." "Would you like to buy the music box?" Estela asked. The lady listened to it. Looks like she likes it, doesn't it? And then Estela tried to sell it to a different lady. Can we tell if she bought it or not? I don't think so. all of a sudden the wind began to blow and the booths fell apart and the poles bent in the wind and the man tried to catch his hat there and the little boy's holding on to his. And Estela grabbed her music box. She didn't want to lose it. The tents are turning all topsy-turvy, aren't they? My flowers, my flowers, the woman is calling. The flower seller's pots smashed to the ground and they covered up the music box. The music box was underneath all the broken flower pots. And there's Estela. She's picking up the broken flower pot. She's helping, isn't she? When Estela returned after cleaning up, the flower seller had found her music box and she gave it back to Estela. But then Estela decided that since the flower seller had lost all of her flowers in the Santa Ana wind, that she would give the flower seller her box, her special music box. And maybe the flower seller could sell that. So she's not going to get any money for it, is she? So there she is thinking. She was very thoughtful, wasn't she, to give her box, and very kind to the flower seller. Estela tried to put the music box out of her mind as she thought about what she would bring to the swap meet next week. Buyers liked low prices, she thought, so she would bring something that did not cost very much. She'd have to ask Papa if she could come back next week. But later in the day, Papa suddenly called out, Estela, your friend is here. And Estela turned around and there was the flower seller. Since we are at a swap meet, the woman said, it is only fair that we swap. Okay, so what had Estela given her? Her special music box. She handed Estela a bag. Goodbye for now, little one, the flower seller said and hurried off. Estela looked inside. Oh, my beautiful, beautiful skirt, she exclaimed. Estela pulled the skirt out of the bag and she put it over her own clothes. She twirled round and round, picturing herself dancing at the folk dancing lessons. May I come back with you next week, Papa? Estela asked, thinking of the money she needed to earn. Of course, Estela. It looks like you know how to swap, Papa said. Yes, said Estela, but now I want to learn how to sell. So she still wants her money, doesn't she? She needs that. And there she is. She has her skirt. And maybe next week at the swap meet, she'll be able to make some money. Okay. Thank you for listening to that. I did go back and forth between reading the text and talking about the pictures, which is one way to share a book with your child. Thanks.